Lately in Overwatch, Smurfs feel like they've become commonplace in every game. Players who clearly don't belong in your rank, terrorizing the lower ranks, making them feel like you will lose automatically. This is the worst feeling. However, you could actually be giving up and not shutting down that Smurf in a way that would get you the win. Make sure you watch this video to the end because you're going to be learning some big misconceptions about smurfing and how to shut them down for max wins and tons of SR. Do you want in-depth guides telling you everything you need to know to improve? Then come give our website a shot. GameLeap.com has hundreds of guides over every character in the game to ensure that you're prepared for any meta. Every single guide is made by Grandmaster players, so you get the absolute best tips and strategies out there, all in the same spot. So what are you waiting for? Come check us out in the links down below. Firstly, let's break down some huge misconceptions about smurfing that could actually be preventing you from even attempting to shut down that smurf and win tons of SR regardless of the fact that they're terrorizing your games. Firstly, what you need to understand is smurfs aren't gods. Those players could be smurfing from anywhere. Very few smurfs are that really top 500 Overwatch League level player. While it may be impossible to beat that really high level 4.5, 4.6 level player, the amount of those players that are actually smurfing in your game are astronomically low. There simply aren't that many of them that exist, and on top of that, they would easily climb through the ranks rapidly. Smurfs could come from anywhere. They could be 2 ranks ahead of you, 1 rank ahead of you, or even they could come from your exact same rank. However, it looks to you like they're smurfing. Let me give you a really big example of the power that you could give someone just by assuming that they're smurfing in the first place. Back in Season 4, I was in Diamond. I thought I wanted to make an alternate account to practice more DPS only. My main was 3.2k and my alternate account plays 3.1k. In my very first game, I had a really good game and popped off, and someone on the enemy team said, "Smurfs are ruining this game, GG." I was only 100 SR lower than my main account. By no metric was I actually smurfing. However, someone on the enemy team gave me that credit and didn't realize just how close that we were actually are in rank. I was beat by many players of his level, and the fact that he thought that me smurfing was enough for him to give up the game was a problem in itself. The second biggest thing you need to understand when trying to shut down a smurf is that it's very difficult to carry 5 other people. I'm sure you know this more than anyone. Carrying 5 other people on your team that simply aren't working together or don't have synergy is one of the hardest things that you could do. I promise you, it's hard even for some of the best players in the game. Even all-star players like Soon and Defran have lost games in Plat. Carrying a team is one of the hardest things you could do in Overwatch. Keep this in mind, the enemy carry is used to more resources and more space. Extra pressure on them can severely lessen their impact because they don't get the resources that they're used to. In fact, later on in this video, we're going to be explaining to you some things that they take for granted that you could easily flip the script on and use that to shut them down. Now let's break down some big fundamentals that you need to think about in order to shut down smurfs. Firstly, you need to identify that they are smurfing. Something that's important to understand is smurfs could be using other people's accounts, so just because they have silver, gold, or platinum borders, that doesn't mean they're not smurfing. In contrast to this, just because someone's on a new account doesn't mean that they necessarily are smurfing. They could be trying a completely new role, or they might be brand new to the game. The only true way to identify if someone's smurfing is by their play and how well they're doing in-game. The important reason you want to identify that a smurf exists is because smurfs demand separate respect from the people of your rank. Smurfs are going to do everything a little bit faster, they're going to have better positioning, and they're going to be able to have that mechanical aptitude that you must respect, or else you could be the one farmed. Trying to identify who the smurf is as fast as possible can be the biggest thing you could do in order to shut them down from the first second you get into the game. Next up, you need to try to evaluate just how good they are and adjust your respect level appropriately. Essentially what I'm saying here is you need to see exactly just how good the enemy team is and change your playstyle to appropriately match it. Maybe their Widowmaker popped off right off the bat, and you switch to a Tracer in order to pressure him down. Now, if you could pressure that Widow down, force him to relocate, and even though you're tunnel visioning him, you're preventing them from getting high levels of impact, this could be really good and a really strong play pattern. However, if you try to dive that Widow and he 180 headshots you, you learn some valuable lessons on just how good the enemy smurf is, and you need to adjust your respect level appropriately. Here's the #1 mistake that many players make, and it might be a simple one, but don't let them farm you. At the end of the day, even if you lose the game, don't let you be the one that got farmed by the enemy smurf. Do whatever you can to shut them down, but at the same time, don't let them get kill after kill after kill on you, and never die to them in the exact same way if you can help it. Moving along from that, something that you really need to stop doing in order to actually give yourself the best shot at beating a smurf is stop getting tilted at your teammates. Too many games, it's clear that a smurf is destroying an aspect of your team, become sympathetic to the fact that a smurf is in your game, and your teammates teammates have to deal with it as well. Getting tilted is the fastest way to lose. Instead, try to invoke a teamwork mentality like their tracer is a smurf, I need help focusing her down, let's farm her. In this way, you can unite the team around the idea that they want to shut down that smurf. This is way more productive than simply getting tilted at your teammates for not outplaying someone that they have no business outplaying in the first place. If you play and practice in modes like Triad Free-For-All, those lobbies are filled with some really high-level players, and you'll get used to the mechanical ceiling of some of the best players in the game. This will make you much better at respecting the level of lethality that any Smurf can have, and players who put some time and effort into Triad Free-For-All can definitely give you the leg up when going against those Smurfs in many of your ranked games. Something really important that you need to be doing in order to actually learn and improve as a player every time you go up against a Smurf is really watch your kill cams and learn for each and every one of your deaths. What was the Smurf doing when he killed you? This could be a big learning opportunity because you could understand exactly what the Smurf is abusing in order to kill you. If you actually analyze what the Smurf is doing and learn from it as fast as possible, that could not only be the easiest way to shut that Smurf down in that game, but improve yourself as a player much more dramatically than you would otherwise. Instead of watching players at your rank and trying to learn from them with all their mistakes, you can watch someone from another rank that is clearly dominating, and you can take some of their aspects and use it to improve yourself as a player. This can accelerate your improvement as a player and make you that much better. If you want their rank, you have to earn it. Use these opportunities to play the best Overwatch of your life. Treat each and every Smurf like a raid boss that is holding you back from leveling up, and try and take them down with everything you can. This is the only way that you're going to actually beat a Smurf. You have to go above and beyond your traditional play patterns and try to utilize everything that you know about Overwatch and maximize your mechanical skill. Next up, we're going to break down some of the big weaknesses that Smurfs actually bring to the table and how you can exploit those weaknesses in order to shut them down. The first and biggest weakness that many Smurfs have is hubris. Smurfs often autopilot, and they're extremely cocky that they believe that they should win without trying. Don't stroke that ego in chat. They can easily get tilted at their own teammates if there's any sort of resistance. Use this to your advantage. If you can win some key fights, sometimes the Smurf will self-destruct and simply not be cooperative with their team. On top of this, you can easily hard counter a Smurf with a pick such as Brig. Sometimes a Tracer Smurf will not swap against a Brig simply because they think that their actual overall skill can overcome a giant counter disadvantage. They make the game far harder on themselves than they need to be, but you can easily abuse this, and before they realize, it's too late and you already won the game. Use their hubris to your advantage and really take advantage of the giant ego that many Smurfs have when smurfing at your rank. Next up is Smurfs can typically have restrictions on themselves, making them less strong overall than their main. Maybe they're trying a new role, a new specific hero, or other self-restrictions. This could be an opportunity for you to shut them down and still SR. Even if there's several hundred SR higher than you on their main, any of these self-restrictions can bring them much more closer to your level, and if you push your limits, you can easily overcome them. Lastly, as far as exploiting weaknesses is concerned, they may not respect you if you act unpredictable. Hiding behind corners, moving in an unpredictable ways, or being outside the box, Smurfs have a very particular view of the game that can become pigeonholed, where if you surprise them with an unpredictable pick or playstyle, it can completely throw them off guard and give you an opportunity to start farming them and shut them down. Lastly, you really need to understand this fundamental fact about Overwatch. You can't win every game. This was true even without Smurfs, and it's definitely true when Smurfs are running rampant. The fact of the matter is, Smurfs don't hold you back. Smurfs are a hump that you have to surpass in order to climb. Every single high-level person beat many Smurfs in order to rank up to where they are today, and if you think that you can earn a higher rank without beating Smurfs some percentage of the time, think again. That being said, when you play out of your mind and use all these tips and tricks to shut down a Smurf carry, it's one of the best feelings in the world. Celebrate, you earned it. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Any questions or Overwatch topics you want videos on, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time. Do you want to develop yourself as a player whose skill is not only adaptable, but transcends multiple metas? Don't worry, we got you covered. GameLeap.com is the only place where you'll find skills that work you from the ground up so that you can have the solid fundamental that can transition through any meta that you can come across. Not only that, but we have hundreds of videos that stem from in-depth guides to tips and tricks that can help you be prepared to dominate your ranked environment and get that sweet, sweet SR. We're so confident that our product will help you that we offer a 10-day money-back guarantee. Come check us out risk-free in the links down below.